Hey, and welcome back to another video at DSR. I'm Zoe, Matt's over there running the Tenere 700 today, and I will be on this lovely XSR 700. As you can see, we're back at Branson, so a big thank you to them today for lending us these two bikes. Very excited just to get on with it. Basically, it's an MT-07 dressed up, so I'm expecting that classic twin cylinder torquey engine, plenty of power down the bottom end. I'm expecting great handling, but mostly I'm just excited to get out, have a little bit of fun. It's a simple design, it's nothing too flashy, but I have to say I think it looks awesome. I'm expecting this bike to feel pretty familiar, as I do have an MT-07 2021 version. You know, it's the same engine. In fact, it's the same engine over there in the Tenere, but obviously expecting a few subtle differences. Oh, it feels nice to be out on the bikes. First impressions then. I was expecting it to feel just as pokey as the MT-07, and I'm certainly not disappointed. It's got plenty down the bottom end. Feels lighter. Hola. Oh, I know. Feels lighter. It just feels like it handles well, this bike. I really do love the look. But mostly I like the feel of this bike. It's a nice comfortable seating position. I'm always a little bit conscious that when we take a demo bike, it's obviously not hit its running period yet. So A, I have to be a bit careful, I can't rag it, but B, you know, the brakes aren't bedded in. It takes sometimes a while for your gear changes to feel smooth. Just generally, you know, those niggles get ironed away. But this has had 358 miles on the clock. Feels good. Feels really good. I'm impressed so far. It's going to be a good day. I think the plan is we're going to head down to West Bay, grab some cheeky chips. It would be rude not to. Not a long ride today, but it's just nice to be out. A little bit of sunshine, blue skies. So as I come to a standstill here, the biggest thing I noticed before jumping on is the seat height of this bike. Manufacturers put it at 835mm, which is pretty high. I am pleased to confirm that it doesn't feel that high. The seat width is fairly narrow. It is an exceptionally light bike. Feels like a bike you can just ride on and feel comfortable and confident straight away. This bike with a full tank of fuel, 188 kilograms. Comfort wise, feels very like the MT-07, but maybe even slightly more relaxed. Handlebars are a little bit narrower compared to the newer MT-07 models, but that doesn't seem to be any issue for the way the bike flicks. It's a simple bike, that's no criticism. I like it, you know me. Not a big fan of all the tech on bikes nowadays. But for me, I just find it all a little bit overwhelming. I prefer to focus on my ride than have to faff about with different buttons. So when I say it's a simple bike, I mean in terms of controls. Obviously there's always a lot of tech going on behind the scenes to make it as smooth as it is, to make it punchy when you need it, make it Euro 5 compliant, come to be expected. This bike's got ABS, it's also got traction control, but you can't turn it off. Buttons, dials, etc. Yeah, it's straightforward. So on your left hand side, got your lights. Up here, got your passing light, got your horn, indicators, easy. Right hand side, hazards at the bottom, and then your kill start switch. No TFT dash to be found on this bike. Instead we've got this little analog circular situation going on. Nice to see it's got a gear indicator on it. You're all lying. I feel like, oh, a bike doesn't need a gear indicator. Go speed. I think these buttons here, although not very easy to get to. Yeah, scroll through. So we were on miles, we're now on trip 2. Gosh, not very easy to get to at all. What are we on there? Another trip. Oh, miles per gallon, nice to see. As you can see, the eco button's on, so I'm riding well. Average bike temperature, outside temperature 18 degrees. Gosh, balmy. Oh, and at the time, there we go, back to the mileage. You have got a fuel gauge at the bottom. You have got your revs on the left hand side as well. All in all, it's got everything you need. And as you might expect, for a bike that doesn't have rider modes, quick shifter, the price is fairly modest. So this retails at £8,000. I know Branson's, where I've got the demo from, have got £305 knocked off that. So if you're looking for a good deal, they're definitely the place to go. Styling wise, you can either get it in this lovely white with the blue stripes, or it comes in a more classic black. I'm going to say it, but I know I'm going to regret it later because we're quite early on into our journey. But dare I say it, the seat feels quite comfortable. Pegs aren't too far behind. They're in a nice comfortable position, quite a laid back riding style. I'm not hunched forward at all. Goodness, I'm in a very chipper mood for a reason. Matt and I recently reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you to each and every one of you who has subscribed and watched our previous videos. I'll take this moment to say if you haven't, it would be really great if you could. So as I said, and obviously as you can see, Matt is on the Tenere 700 in front of me. Usually when we take two bikes out, we try and swap around. Always nice to get a his and her perspective. But I have to say, the Tenere, I think it's the World Raid he's on, so slightly bigger again. The seat height is like a whopping 890 or something ridiculous. I mean, I'm not even sure. Matt's flat-footed and he's flat-footed on most things. It's just a bike that I wouldn't feel overly comfortable jumping on. If you're not familiar with the engine setup in the MT-07, the R7, the Tenere 700, and then this, the XSR 700, it's twin cylinder, punchy, it's torquey. Whatever platform it's in, it seems to deliver. In terms of power, you're looking at about 74 brake horsepower. But as I said, this bike is all about the torque. Gearbox has definitely been tweaked. It's a noticeable difference between this and the MT-07. Gears are probably just a little bit longer on this bike, which I think I prefer. When I talk about that confidence in riding, what is it that I'm talking about? Well, as I said, for me, being able to get on and off a bike without feeling like I'm going to drop it, always a big thing. The weight. At 5'5", it's nice to have a bike that isn't too heavy to handle when you're stationary, that is. Other key things, the brakes. I've not had to put them too much to the test yet, but there you go. Front, yeah, you know what, that feels good. Front brake is definitely receptive. Rear brake probably needs a little bit more bedding in, but it's certainly not far off. Another key thing is obviously grip from the tyres. So this bike's equipped with the Road 5s, which are on the MT-07. They really are premium in terms of all-weather, all-round capability. It's a nice bike to ride. If you can get hold of it for under £8,000, I really do think it's a bargain. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. Suspension feels plush. Certainly plusher than the MT-07. Different frame, different distribution of weight. All key factors. Would I buy it? I don't know. Dare I say it? I think I prefer this to my MT-07. I said it. I think it looks nicer. It's always nice to ride a bike that puts a smile on your face. This does. This bike has plenty going for it. I don't think you can deny that. For me, the price range is spot on. It looks great. Handling is sublime. You're getting that pokey twin parallel engine, the same one that's in the, you know, the torque monster of the M207, but it's packaged up in an even more comfortable styling. This bike is made with quality in mind. It feels higher premium than the cost would suggest. Some nice bikes down at West Bay today. I've just ran into somebody who has a 21 version of the XSR 700. It was nice to be able to have a little compare and see what's different. He had a red stripe down the centre paint job, which looked really nice actually. He had added an after exhaust pipe. Sounded brilliant as he went off. You could hear it going down the road for quite some way. The other noticeable difference is the screen is actually here on the older models, which I think looks really neat, but he said he'd had a problem always having to kind of look down to like look at the screen, so I've certainly not found it there, which I think is part of the reason why Yamaha did change it over. The other noticeable difference is the headlight hasn't got the LED, the nice LED circle on the old ones. Still a circular headlight, but not LED, so in terms of nighttime riding, not ideal, but also just general looks, isn't it? Aesthetically, it's a bit more pleasing with LEDs. Very tiny amount of shudder in the mirrors, but low vibes really. Certainly not getting achy hands or anything. Smooth bike for a parallel twin, actually. I don't know whether it's the chips, whether it's the reaching 1,000 subs, but I feel very positive about this bike. We like to be honest with our reviews. We won't tell you a bike's fantastic just because we've borrowed it from a dealership or whatnot. They know that, we know that. But I'm really pleased riding this bike. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So is the West Bay test, if you ask me. Go down. Are you happy walking over to your bike when you're at West Bay and you're surrounded by lots of lovely bikes? Yeah, I was quite happy walking over. Be sure to go and check out Matt's review of the Tenere 700 World Raid. That's a mouthful. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, see more content like this. If you like this video, please thumbs up, would be much appreciated. I'll see you on the next video. Ride safe.